We're good to get going. Yeah. Warren, we're good to go whenever you're ready to start.
Meeting is hereby called to order at 6:07. We will begin with a roll call. Start right up front, please. Ms. Jones?
Present.
Yeah, front row, just say your member name and present.
Present.
Hold the button.
Present.
Present.
Next member. Warren Hamilton, present. All 5 members present.
For the record, Member Morris provided advance notice that she would be unable to attend this meeting, and Member Johnson's arrival is pending.
Next, we're going to go to our next agenda item, which is approval of minutes. Is there a member who wants to offer a motion for the approval of the May 14th minutes? I'm sorry about that, member. Why don't we just do them both together? That was my fault. So just, oh, you did? Okay. Do I have a second on that motion?
Second on the motion.
Motion has been seconded. Is there any comment on the minutes or the motion? No comments. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All in favor, yes. Next, we will have our public comment period. Is anybody signed up for that? Thank you. Public comment period is for 3 minutes. And would a Miss Mary Carter please step up inside and sit at the desk, please?
Either way, this one's open.
Thank you very much. Just please state your name for the record.
My name is Mary Carter.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes. Yes, I'm here because of a couple of incidents that happened. No parent, spouse, or anyone, when your child is found deceased on a Sunday, they shouldn't have to be notified on a Wednesday. Whenever the child is found, the parent should be notified. That's what happened to me. this week. I was looking for my child, nowhere in sight. A friend called me and told me that they found my son deceased on Bradford Street Sunday. The detectives say they reached out to me. Nobody reached out to me. The only way I found out was through a friend. I don't know what's going on, but somebody's not doing their job right, because 4 days pass when you don't know where your child is at. It hurts. That's all I have to say.
Well, thank you for coming to share that. Next, review of complaints, and we're going to start with an update from the Office of Professional Standards. Commander.
All right. Well, hello, everybody.
Hello.
Just to touch on a quick overview of OPS. I know there wasn't a meeting in June, or we didn't hear any cases in June. So my reporting goes back since May, as far as the amount of cases that we've since closed. Since the May meeting, there were a total of 13 closed cases, and then 8 cases moved to completion, which means they're in the process of either my review for disciplinary or Detective Lieutenant Peterson's review for just overall approval. So that's the current state of OPS. That's all I really have as far as what to report out right now from the OPS end. Does anyone have any questions for me?
No, I don't. Any questions for Commander?
Okay. All right. Thank you all.
Thank you. All right, next section is the complaints for review. First up is Member Hamilton. And lucky me, that's me. And that is complaint number CC 2024-049. Date received November 24, 2024. Type of complaint, call handling, 2 counts, conduct standards. Location of the incident, 270 Livingston Avenue. Again, November 14th, 2024. Year and a half ago. Synopsis of allegations. The complainant stated that officers failed to respond in a timely manner and upon arrival failed to conduct an adequate investigation, including failing to identify, question, and take law enforcement actions and complete a report. She further alleged officers failed to take action as she was being followed by a group of individuals involved in the incident. The complainant alleged the officer acted in an unprofessional, dismissive, and discourteous manner during the call, and that she felt her civil rights were violated. There was an investigation. Documentation was obtained. Preliminary findings is that it be closed as follows. Allegation 1, call handling. Complainant alleges officers failed to respond in a timely manner and upon arrival failed to conduct an adequate investigation, including failing to identify, question, and take law enforcement action and complete a report. The investigation determined that officers did respond to the scene after being dispatched and made reasonable efforts to investigate. Upon arrival, officers attempted to investigate and engaged the scene by asking questions and attempting to determine what had occurred. However, they were met by conflicting information, lack of cooperation, and an inability to identify a victim or establish a criminal offense due to limited information. That most information provided may have supported a harassment violation. However, officers stated they were unable to substantiate a charge based on the available information provided. Therefore, no report was generated. Furthermore, the complainant did not request a report by officers, nor was she denied one. She asked how officers could assist. When asked how officers could assist, the complainant stated she just wanted to get inside her residence safely, and she was able to do so. It is recommended that this portion of the investigation be closed as exonerated, where the acts which prove the basis of the complaint occurred, but the review shows that such acts were proper. The second is also call handling, and the complainant alleges the officers failed to take action as she was being followed by a group of individuals involved in the incident. That was sort of a car chase of sorts, where it was between two different residences. The officer stated in their interviews that when the complainant arrived at 270 Livingston Avenue, there was no group observed outside the residence, and the complainants by the time were not being followed. It should also be noted the complainant received a ride home from another parent. Based upon body-worn camera footage, that parent did not exit the vehicle or report any information to officers on scene regarding her being followed or damage to her vehicle. It is recommended that this portion of the investigation be closed as exonerated, where the acts which prove the basis of the complaint occurred, but the review shows that such acts were proper. Allegations 3, conduct standard. The complainant alleged that officers acted in an unprofessional manner, including being dismissive and discourteous when interacting with the complainant. The investigation determined that based on body-worn camera footage, there was no evidence to support that officers were dismissive and discourteous during the interaction. The officers engaged and asked questions during the call. Officer Mahar specifically asked how they could best assist the complainant in that moment, and she reported she was just trying to get into her residence, which she was able to do. It is recommended that this portion be closed as not sustained, where the review fails to disclose sufficient facts to prove or disprove the allegation made in the complaint. Allegation 4, other. Complainant alleged that her civil rights were violated. However, no specific conduct or basis was articulated of said rights. The complainant alleges that her civil rights were violated. However, the complainant does not identify any specific right or officer conduct that would constitute a violation. A review of body-worn camera footage and officer interviews did not reveal any actions that would reasonably be interpreted as a violation of the complainant's constitutional rights. It is recommended that this portion of the investigation be closed as unfounded, where the review shows that the acts complained did not occur or were misconstrued. So, the summary of my findings: I concur with the OPS findings and make the following recommendations. For the first one, call handling, exonerated. Second one, call handling, failure to act, exonerated. Conduct standards, unprofessional, dismissive, discourteous, not sustained. And other is unfounded. I did not have any policy recommendations because there were no sustained allegations. So if there are no questions, I want to make a motion that members motion to approve the report.
Point of order, sir. We need to see if the complainant is present first.
Is the complainant present for this and would like to make a statement? No one is here, so back to the motion. Can we say that motion? Accept the recommendations in the report. Do we have a second for that? All those in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Was that aye from everybody? All right. Thank you. Next report is CC 2025-041 member person.
Thank you. This is case number CC 2025-041, date received August 11, 2025. OPS detective assigned was Detective Stiles, and I am the board member, Victor Person. Complaint was submitted August 11, 2025. Date and time of the incident was November 1st, 24. Location was 98 Madison Avenue. Complainant officer's allegation of misconduct. Call handling was considered a missed call, exonerated through OPS. Report writing incident report was incorrect. It was exonerated by OPS. Evidence and property declared evidence, exonerated OPS. And Sergeant Schuyler for the call handling and missed call, exonerated OPS. Investigation finding. This revealed the officer responded to the report of a possible, Jesus. Okay. This review revealed that the officer responded to reports of a possible obscene acts being committed by a juvenile 6 years of age involving two other juveniles, ages 4 and 5. Specifically, the 6-year-olds directed the other juveniles to undress and record it on the tablet. Upon arrival, Officer Trellis spoke with the father of the 6-year-old, and the complaint reviewed video footage and contacted Sergeant Schuyler for guidance. Officer Charlie informed Sergeant Gallen of the facts related to the investigation, to include the age of the alleged suspect and content of the video. After speaking with Officer Tyler, he contacted the parents of the children or family services unit for guidance. Sergeant Gallen provided with the facts related to officers' investigation, to include the age of the alleged suspect and content of the video. Lieutenant asked, under the age of 12, from being held criminally responsible for any non-homicide act, and footage would not be considered evidence of a crime. Lieutenant added that if the 6-year-old's father retained or shared the footage, even with the complainant, it could be considered being in possession of the distributing an obscene act involving juvenile, which is a crime, and related that in these instances, APD recommended destruction of such footage. Additionally, Lieutenant Axon directed the complaint of the report and notification of Child Protective Services. The review revealed that Officer Trelli completed the needed report. It was returned to his quote for corrections, but the technical issue resulted in Officer Trelli not being notified. Once Sergeant Schuyler inquired why the report had not been corrected, Officer Trelli made the needed correction and completed the report. CPS board member findings. I concur with OPS findings and make the following recommendation. As for officer, an allegation of misconduct, call handling was mishandled, call was exonerated, report writing the incident report was incorrect, exonerated, evidence and property deleted evidence, exonerated. Sergeant Schuyler call handling, miscall, exonerated. Recommendation of policy and discipline in connection with the same allegation. Comments, and anybody have comments regarding the OPS investigation?
I don't have any comments. Any comments by any members?
Is the complainant here? Okay.
So I would like to ask if a member would like to offer up a motion to approve this report.
I make a motion that we approve the report CC 2025041 as read.
And I second that. This is Warren. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion has carried. We will be skipping over 2026-001 for now. The next report is CC 2026-006. Member Jones, please.
Reporting on Community Complaint Report CC 2026006, received on February 5th, 2026. An incident took place January 30th, 2026. This was regarding a phone call made to the department. The complainant basically made the complaint under that the call handling took too long to respond. When an investigation was taking place, by a supervisor, it was determined that everything was conducted in order and that the officer responded in a reasonable time after dispatch. Therefore, as a member of the board, I agree with OPS findings and recur that this case be unfounded. Oh, is the complainant here for discussion? Okay, thank you.
Can I get a motion to accept that report?
Second.
Is there any discussion on the report? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 All right, that carries. Next, we have CC 2026-010. That would be member Person.
Thank you. This is case number 2026-010, received February 27, 2026. OPS Detective assigned, Detective Styles. I am the board member, Victor Person. Complaint submitted February 27, 2026. Name of complaint, date and time of initial incident unknown, location of incident unknown, officer, allegation of misconduct not identified. No findings by OPS. Summary of the investigation and finding. The review revealed that Detective Styles determined the additional information was needed from the complaint to further investigate. To get additional information, Detective Styles called the complainant and went to the complainant's residence. However, the complainant refused to speak with Detective Styles and repeatedly remarked that he did not wish to speak to the detective. I concur with OPS finding of the following recommendation. Office and allegation misconduct not identified. A recommendation for policy and discipline in connection with sustained allegation. Is there a complaint available? Is there someone here regarding this complaint?
There's no one online.
All right, there's nobody here. Have a member offer up a motion on that report, please.
Make a motion that we accept the report as read. That is report number 2026-010.
Thank you. Do you have a second?
Aye. I second.
We have a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Thank you. The motion carries. Next up, we have C0 26015. Oh, did I skip that one? Oh, okay, okay.
Good evening. I'm here to report on community complaint CC 2026-011. The complaint was received on March 9th, 2026. The complaint, the date and time of the incident was December 1st, 2025. The complainant, once again, it was regarding call handling, whether or not the officer responded to a call. OPS exonerated upon my review of all documents. I in reading through all documents that the two separate calls regarding the illegal contact orders, the officer responded to the first call, and the complainant alleged a verbal altercation that did not rise to a violation of an order. The officer responded to a second call in which the complainant's partner alleged a battery was committed by the complainant. However, the complainant did not want to sign a complaint. Therefore, I concur with OPS's findings, and this case is exonerated. There's no one here? Anyone here? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for that report. I will make a motion to approve that report. Can I get a second?
I second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion has carried. Next is CC 2026-15, Member Hamilton. That is aye. Date received was 3/18/26. The type of complaint is conduct standards. Location, Madison Ave, Willett Street. Again, 3/15/26. The complaint alleges Officer Cooper pushed a man in a light brown coat in the chest and forcibly places him in handcuffs. It's recommended investigation be closed as follows. Call handling. After reviewing body-worn camera footage, the interviewing Officer Cooper was dispatched to a fight in the area of Madison Avenue and Willett Street. Officer Cooper arrived and observed the male laying in the roadway. Officer Cooper advised the male in the tan coat, who is the subject of the complaint, to wait on the sidewalk so he could render aid to the male in the roadway. The individual in the tan coat refused to comply, and Officer Cooper continued to refused to comply with Officer Cooper and continued to interfere with Officer Cooper's investigation. Officer Cooper gave several commands to the individual to stand on the sidewalk, to which he refused and continued to shout in the roadway, causing bystanders to stop and observe. Officer Cooper gave a verbal warning to the individual that he was going to push him and detain him if he did not comply. Officer Cooper then pushed him due to not following commands and to get onto the sidewalk, and then he detained him due to his escalated state. It's recommended this portion of the case be closed as exonerated where the acts which provide the basis of the complaint occurred, but the review shows such acts were proper. My investigation, events did happen roughly as seen by the complainant, who was observing it from afar. She was not there at the scene, She did not have an optimal view of the officer when he was talking and trying to give commands. She could only see from a distance that some person was pushed by the officer. Once again, she had no idea that the officer had asked the person multiple times to comply with his commands, and they did not. The events did happen roughly as seen. However, the individual reporting was driving past the scene and did not have the first-hand information about what was happening. The person making the complaint thought they saw an officer assaulting and then roughing up a person. The view from the car was far off, and the complainant never had a front view of the officer to see how he was communicating. I concur with the OPS findings and make the following recommendations. The officer should be exonerated and recommend that this report be voted on and approved by the board. Call handling, the pushing and detention is exonerated. Again, it happened, but it did not happen the way the person saw it. Is there anybody here on that complaint? They are not. So could I get a motion to approve that complaint form from somebody?
I make a motion that we approve complaint number CC 2026-015, report as read.
Thank you. Could I get a second on that?
Second.
Is there any discussion on it? All those members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
That motion has carried. Next, we have CC 2026-016, Member Jones.
Reporting on case number CC 2026-16, complaint made to the Community Police Review Board. The complaint was submitted on March 24th, 2026. The date of the incident was December 23rd, 25, excuse me. Let's see. In summary, after a review, in summary, it was discovered that the officer responded to a call regarding a potential burglary. Officers detained the occupants to include one juvenile to determine whether or not the actual burglary occurred. After determining that nothing did not occur, the detainees were released back into the home. The complainant spoke after understanding why the juvenile was detained with the supervisor, who discussed in detail how APD responds to a burglary call, and the complainant understood the information and had no further questions. I concur with OPS findings and make the following recommendation: that the call handling response was appropriate and it should be exonerated. Is anyone present to discuss this matter? Okay. Well.
Thank you very much. There is no one here for that one, so would a member like to offer up a motion to approve that report?
I make a motion that we approve the minutes, that we approve the report CC 2026-016, report as read.
Thank you. I will second that motion. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. That motion has carried. We are skipping over the next report because the member is not here. Next up is CC 2026-23, and that's person.
Thank you. Case number CC 2026-023, date received May 4th, 2026. OPS Detective Hassan Adlin, and victor person is the board member. Complaint was submitted May 4th, 2026. Incident occurred May 1st, 2026. Location of incident was 60 Hoffman Avenue, Albany, New York. Office of an allegation of misconduct Officer Turner was called handling, dismissive and argumentative, was unfounded by OPS. Use of force of pushing to the ground was exonerated by OPS. Arrest authority and procedure was improper and was exonerated by OPS. Board members' finding, investigation and finding. The review revealed that Officer Turner responded to a complaint report of theft of keys. Upon arrival, Officer Turner attempted to obtain the information of the alleged suspect. However, the complaint failed to provide the information and became aggressive. Officer Turner attempted to resolve the incident by calling the alleged suspect. While Officer Turner attempted to call the alleged suspect, the complaint approached Officer Turner while yelling and demanding he take specific action. Officer Turner asked the complaint to back up, but he continued to yell and scream at Officer Turner to his vehicle. While yelling and being aggressive, Officer Turner instructed the complaint once in the chest to create distance. This push caused the complaint to fall to the ground. Once on the ground, the complaint stood back up and continued his behavior while approaching Officer Turner. Officer Turner drew his taser and informed the complaint that it would be used if continued. The complainant stopped and Officer Turner left without further action. Officer Turner left the location. The complaint to continue to call for emergency services. After complaint called 40 or 50 times in a short period of time, officer returned to the complaint's location and arrested him for being a nuisance. The review also revealed that while the complainant was speaking to the dispatcher about the need of a report, he became upset and a report could not be taken over the phone. Additionally, the review revealed that Officer Turner used a calm voice while speaking to the complainant and made reasonable effort to assist the complainant to de-escalate the interaction. CPS board findings. I concur with OPS finding and make the following recommendation. Officer allegation of misconduct, Officer Turner called handling, dismissive and argumentative, unfounded. Use of force of pushing to the ground is exonerated. Arrest, authority and procedure, improper, exonerated. Recommendation for policy and discipline in connection with sustained allegation, if any. Does anybody have any questions? Is anybody here? Is there anyone here?
She is not here for that complaint. Thank you, member person. Could I get a motion from a member on that report, please? I'll motion that we accept the report as read. Is there a second?
I second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Next, we have CC 2026-030, member person.
This is case number CC 2026-030. Date received May 20th, 26. OPS detective assigned, Detective Styles. Victim person is the board member. Complaint submitted May 20th, 2026. Date and time of initial incident, May 16th. Location of incident, 71B Lark Drive. Officer of allegation of misconduct, Officer Turnello. Call and handling, failure to assist. The 2026 event was exonerated by OPS. Officer Bunch, call handling, improper report of the 2024 event was exonerated by OPS. In the summary of the review investigation, the review revealed that in 2024, Officer Bunch responded to a report of criminal act from the complaint. During Officer Bunch investigation, that complaint was unable to provide the legal name and date and the address for an alleged suspect, which prevented the filing of the criminal charge. Based on a lack of information, Officer Bunch completed a report and forwarded to Criminal Investigation Unit for additional investigation. After approximately 5 months, the complaint provided by Officer Bunch with the needed name, date, and birth of the address for the suspect. Officer Bunch completed the supplemental report detailing information and ensured that CIU received the information. The CIU investigation is still ongoing. The review also revealed that Officer Tonello responded to reports of damage to a vehicle. During Officer Tonello's investigation, the complaint alleged his ex-girlfriend was responsible for the damage. However, the complaint was unable to provide any evidence of the ex-girlfriend's involvement. Since there was a lack of evidence, Officer Tonello completed his report but did not assist with obtaining an order of protection. The APD does not issue order of protection, and the complaint was referred to family court. Board member, I concur with the OP's finding and make the following recommendation. Officer, an allegation of misconduct. Officer Canelo, call handling, failure to assist 2026 event was exonerated. Officer Bunch, call handling, improper report 2024 event exonerated. Recommendation from policy and discipline in connection with the sustained allegation.
See if she's here for that.
Is anyone here for that?
Appears to be nobody here for that, and there's no one online. So I will offer up a motion to accept that report. Is there a second on that motion?
I second.
All those members in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Yes.
And we do have one more left. Member Jones is going to read one of the reports that was skipped over earlier, and that's CC 2026-001, I believe.
Yes, good evening once again. I will serve as the reader for the community complaint CC 2026-001. Given that we know our member's not here, but we'll respond given that our community member is present. We received the report, or received it on January 15th, 2026. The complaint was also received on January 15th, 2026. In summary, I'll read kind of what was reported after review of the materials as the reader. The reviewer revealed officers responded to the reports of a domestic dispute. Upon arrival, officers could hear yelling from inside the residence. After knocking on the door, a young juvenile answered the door and allowed the officers to enter. Once inside the residence, the officers encountered the complainant, who is pointing toward the kitchen while stating, "Get them out of my house." The officers entered the kitchen and observed 3 juveniles engaged in a physical altercation. The oldest male was heard saying, "I'll beat your ass," while pushing his sister towards the counter. The officer grabbed one of the officers grabbed the male and took him to the ground, where the male landed on his back. Once on the ground, the officers attempted to place handcuffs on the male, but he resisted. The officers were able to get the male onto his stomach, at the time which the male pushed down on the ground and attempted to stand up. The officers applied more body weight to the back and shoulder area of the male and were able to place him on handcuffs. As this was occurring, the complainant actively placed herself between the officers and her son, at one point crouching down near her son's head. Despite the officer's instructions to back up. Once the son was in handcuffs, one of the officers approached the complainant and directed profanities at her while informing her she could be arrested. The complainant attempted to place a phone call, but the officer took the control of the phone and prevented the call. The review also revealed that the officer admitted to using profanity and explained that he took the complainant's phone because he had not yet to determine if she would be arrested. The son was arrested for battery after the officer confirmed that he had punched his sister in the face. I concur with, as the writer wrote, I concur with the OPS findings and make the following recommendations. Use of force, exonerated. Use of force, exonerated. Conduct standards, sustained. Conduct standards regarding taking the phone and preventing a call, exonerated. Any questions by members?
We'll do that after we second the motion. I mean, we can do it now, I'm not sure.
Well, yeah. And then vote. Any do we have a complainant present? Would you like to come forward? Okay, you can open here.
Do I need to press this?
Oh, it's on.
Oh, okay. Let me first say that this complaint was made in January. We're now in July. This is 6 months down the road. And I can understand why people haven't shown up, because this is designed to be exhausting. Okay? A complaint is put in because officers are not acting appropriate when they respond to certain things. And then the people who are making these complaints have to wait it out. And then when they wait it out and they come and they make their complaints and they're heard, they get slapped on the wrist for the things that they've done. I don't think it's okay whatsoever. When they came to my home, I did not tell them to get them out of my house. My call was for them to come and assist with my 2 teenagers who are children, who are having an altercation. My son is a built 15-year-old young man who may have looked like a man to this officer, but he was not. This situation was not assessed properly. He came in aggressive already. There were other ways that he could have handled this situation when it came to my son. If he seen that my son was at a height, there's been numerous of times where I see officers come in and they talk to children. They try to separate them, take one of the parties out of the situation so that we can de-escalate the problem. When you got the same 2 people are having a problem in the situation still standing there, how can we do that? There were 2 officers that responded, a female and a male. The female could have taken my daughter out the situation, and the male could have spoken to my son. I feel like when they come into areas like Arbor Hill, they already have a stigma. It's already looked at that they're possibly walking into a danger zone, when they need to change that thinking, because that's not what it is. It's a lot more that needs to happen. It's a lot more training. It's a lot more being held accountable in these internal investigations that are done by the people that they work with. I don't find it to be correct whatsoever. I'm very upset. I'm upset at the way my son was handled. I'm upset at the fact that my son was letting the officer know that he couldn't breathe. And the fact that the officer then got up and swore in my face aggressively and took my phone, not only took my phone, but threw it on the table. He left that part out. I was trying to make a call to my mother because at that point, I felt that I needed somebody there in my corner, and he did not allow me to do that. I was not aggressive with him. I was not, doing things that he felt that I would be of a threat or danger, anything of that nature. He was upset. He couldn't control himself. He was out of control. So do I agree with what's going on here? I do not agree with it. I do not, and it needs to be more accountability held. This is not the way things should be. If we are going to work together, we can't work together if we can't trust the people we're working with. If I can't trust the core of the police, why would you come and ask me anything when you have a problem and you need help? If I can't even trust you. I'm upset. My son is upset. My son has been through things after that situation that came from that situation. And I feel like what the outcome is now is not okay and it's not fair. And I feel that anybody in the community that has complaints, they need to come forward with them. And it shouldn't take 6 months to a year for them to be answered, because that makes us feel like they don't care about what we have to say. Now, are they all bad apples? They're not. I've dealt with a lot of good detectives and things that I've had go on, and I've dealt with a lot of good officers. But when the bad ones stick out, they stick out. And he's aggressive. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I didn't catch your name? Oh, I'm sorry. Can I just say that I will speak for everyone. I will speak for myself. I am so sorry it took so long for this to be heard. And I understand your frustration, your anger, especially when juveniles are involved. And I know that as a new member of this board, when things come across, we're going to get them through. We'll not leave you in waiting. I can't necessarily speak for the officers other than what's in policies in terms of, in some way they were called to come in and help the daughter, and they kind of, I hope, protected her, but not the way that, I can't speak to the handling of the situation. But I'll inquire just so in the future that we can figure out, okay, how can better training be, if I have any input, or as a community resident, I can add input. But we do hear you, and I have compassion. You have black young men you're raising in the city, so I hope that he is back.
Had been a white young man, would that have happened the same way?
I'm not sure.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
May I ask you a question, ma'am? Are you aware of the FOIL?
Yes. Yes.
At any given time, you are aware that you can review or ask for information?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make you aware.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I just wanted to add too that we do have a separate investigative process that's just part of this board, and it's not the police investigating themselves. We currently don't have an investigator, and we're reviewing that part of the process. But just rest assured, it is not just them with their internal investigations. And I think at least one of your complaints was sustained, meaning that we believe what you said. So there's maybe some consolation there. And thank you for filing. Can somebody offer up a motion on that report, please?
I second.
I motion that we accept that report. And can I get a second? The second was by
Second.
Member Person beat you to it.
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 That motion has carried. Closure without review. The next section, can a member give us a motion for that section where there are two that we are closing without review?
A second.
I was asking for the motion. I didn't want to offer the motion. I wanted a member to make that motion.
I make a motion that we close the reports as reviewed
Thank you, thank you. I didn't want to make it because I'm presiding. I know Robert's rules is a little different on that, but is there a second on that motion?
Second.
All those in favor with the closure per the motion, say aye.
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 Aye. Next section, we have communication from the City of Albany, which will be a report, two of them from our program director.
Good evening, everyone. So I'm pleased to provide some updates. We are in the process of finalizing our interviews and selection for our investigative staff members. We are hoping to be able to extend offers to both of those staff members by the end of business tomorrow or Monday at the latest. They're on track, should they successfully complete the background check, to be onboarded as a staff member by August the 10th. In addition to that, we have two new members, Member Cheney and Member Garland, who are both joining us as fully seated vote-eligible members for the first time. There is an additional third individual who is currently undergoing the required background check for consideration for membership. That would, if that individual's background check in membership is ultimately made, we will have a board of 8 members. The Public Safety Committee is in the process of recruiting and seeking applicants for the 9th vacancy. So anybody that's listening or participating or reading a news article tomorrow, please make sure you apply by going to the CPRB's website if you're interested in being on the board. In regards to the budget, that's a typo on my part. It should be 2027, not 2026. We have entered the 2027 budget cycle. I am in the process of gathering all the necessary information and data points to craft our budget request for fiscal year 2027. Once I have all the information in a draft request provided or created, I will provide it to membership for review and questions. As a reminder, the city is dealing with somewhat of a difficult financial situation right now, but by law, this board is fortunate as our budget is a minimum by law of 1% of the Albany Police Department's budget. Are there any questions about the updates? Okay.
So apparently there were no questions.
I'm sorry, we do have additional updates. Braylon has an update about our community engagement events planned.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to provide a brief update on the CPRB community outreach efforts. And so we have been preparing for several outreach events this summer. And so our new outreach materials include new banners, fitted table covers, and promotional items. All have been purchased to help create a more professional and recognizable presence at community events. And so we are also scheduled to participate in 3 Play Streets events on July 24th, July 31, and August 7th, as well as the Alert Fest on August 8th. We have also reached out to the Department of Recreation multiple times about space availability and use, but as of yet, we have not received a response. And so as of now, member interest is as follows. For July 24th on the Play Street events, we have member Garland, Hamilton, and Johnson interested in participating. For the July 31st event, for the Play Streets, we have member Garland. And then for August 7th, we have member Garland, Hamilton, and Johnson. And lastly, for August 8th, we currently have, for the Alert Fest, we have member Garland, Hamilton, and Morris. And so these events are an opportunity to increase awareness of the CPRB, educate residents about our role, and strengthen our relationship with the community through consistent outreach. Thank you.
Thank you for the update. Next is old business, and we are going to possibly, if a member offers it up, a motion to table that for our next meeting. So I will offer that motion. Legal services, we have some newer members. Not everyone's here, so it's probably not a good time to have that kind of conversation. Also, officer nominations, we have 4 new members, 3 or 4. It's, again, something that we might want to offer up. So I'm going to motion that old business 1 and 2, first one, make consideration of responses to proposals, second, officer nominations, be tabled until the next meeting. Is there a second?
I second.
The motion has been seconded. Is there a question? I'm sorry.
Yes, so, just in the future, you don't want to make a motion as the chair, because there's a bias, and, you know, you're asking everyone else, just so you know that, and then when
That's a
you
good
make
point.
a motion, then
Yeah.
it's like, it's,
Coercion,
yeah,
but, and
yeah,
I would,
conflict.
yeah, I made that point a few motions ago, but I think
Okay.
Robert's rules allows it. My preference is that it not happen, but I think it is allowable under Robert's rules.
Mm,
So point of order, technically, there is no chair of this board. So
Oh,
Member
okay.
Hamilton's role in this meeting is presiding officer. He's empowered as
thank
everybody
you.
else.
Okay, all right, then, all good, as the presiding officer, you're all good.
Right, and maybe we'll have the further conversation
Yeah,
later
when
about
there's
the
a
chair.
Okay,
but-
because the chair technically wouldn't vote unless there was some type of tie anyways.
No, the chair is a voting member. I do believe, I agree with
Oh, wait.
Member Jones's recommendation that when we do have a seated chair and they are the presiding officer of the meeting, that they avoid making motions so that there's not any potential undue influence on fellow members.
Okay.
But the chair otherwise is fully capable of participating in a meeting and is technically able to make motions as desired. But I think it's a better idea to have the non-chair member make a motion.
Which is what I said. Yeah. All right.
But the vote was called for, so I'm sorry I interrupted with a question.
No, that's fine. So,
The motion on the table is to postpone all items in old business until a future meeting when the additional members have time to review and come up to speed on the topics of information.
was there a second on that motion?
I second.
Okay, we do have a second on that motion. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Awesome. Next, new business. I move to enter executive session to discuss pending litigation and matters leading to the appointment, employment, promotion, demotion, discipline, suspension, dismissal, or removal of a particular person or persons and operational matters. Can I get a second on that motion?
Second.
Can I get a vote on all those in favor to enter executive session?
Aye.
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 I don't understand. I apologize.
So
What are we removing?
we are going into executive session, but we have to motion into an executive session.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. So we got the second in, and we were voting for that motion. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The motion has carried. The outcome of the vote, we will be going into executive session. And all those non-members, city officials, et cetera, Executive session is over. Can I have a motion to adjourn, please, from one of the directors? The motion's right here. Did you second? You didn't. Did I have a second? Director Jones, second that motion. All those in favor of adjournment, say aye. Aye. Motion is passed. Meeting's adjourned. I think that is an emotion. Don't you?